Feeling lost in the maze of CPS? Desperate to get your child back? You're not alone. Countless parents face the heart-wrenching reality of family separation. The legal system can be overwhelming, but there's hope.
Now, here's the key. Okay, that's how you win a 6-month hearing.
Thank you.
If you do all of those things, you're going to blow your social worker's mind, you're going to blow your attorney's mind, and you're going to blow away the judge.
With attorney Vincent W. Davis, a dedicated legal expert with 39 years of experience, committed to helping families like yours. Join his weekly live Q&A on Zoom, where you can ask your burning questions about CPS cases. Get the knowledge and strategies you need to fight for your child's return.
Alrighty, good evening everyone. This is a question and answer session.
Are you ready to take control of your family's future? Participate as a one-time guest. Don't let fear hold you back. Take the first step towards reuniting your family. Join us now.
Good evening. I'll try again. Good evening and welcome. I do have a little issue with my computer. I still haven't resolved it, but still working on it. And it's a warm welcome. You've reached a live podcast. I'm Bob Pace. I'm your host. And here we are to fight CPS and stop taking our children. You know, that's a lot. And I know most of you are lost and overwhelmed. It is a very complex government entity that has taken your children unneedlessly, and they don't believe in family reunification, and they do nothing but bring you up and bring you down and lie to you and retaliate to you. That's from my experience firsthand of fighting CPS for 15 years. Also from talking to over 900 people from around the world. This is a worldwide podcast. Just the other day, I had a gentleman from Sudan. A little tropical place down there, south of the Philippines, and I guess be west of Australia. But I had a gentleman there, and then I've had Bangladesh, and I've had India, and then up to the Middle East, I've had Saudi Arabia and Libya. Then over to Africa, the continent of Africa, besides Sudan, I've had Liberia on the northwest coast. Then in the central east part of Africa, Rwanda near Lake Victoria. Then I've had Mozambique near across Madagascar Island. And at the southern tip, I have South Africa and 4 provinces from there. 4 provinces have texted or even called in. I have had calls from outside the United States. And then we go to Europe, and I've had England, Scotland, Wales, and then I have Denmark and Sweden. Then across the pond, I've had North America. I've had 4 provinces in Canada. St. Brunswick, Quebec, Ontario, and Alberta. And then in the United States, I've had all 50 states, and several people from each state have called in about their CPS system was very corrupt. I've even had the District of Columbia in Washington, D.C. tell about a horrible incident this woman had. Then south of face is coming off, but I don't know how much you heard or didn't hear. But anyway, it's a lot of countries, a lot of states, a lot of people. And I've been doing this for 15 months. You found me on Facebook, Fighting CPS. Bob Pace, Fighting CPS. And I'm not an attorney, but a family man who's raised 6 beautiful children and have 41 years of marriage. That's a lot of life skills. And I, too, was taken by CPS. My children were trafficked into foster care in CPS. They were alienated. Both those things are legal. It's wrong to traffic children. It's wrong to alienate children from their families, from their parents. It's wrong for parents to alienate the children themselves. Any form of alienation and trafficking is against the law. But somehow the child protection system gets away with it. Now, who is the child protection system? Well, it's all the systems in all the counties, all the states, and all the countries. I use CPS, which means Child Protection System. Each state has counties, and each country has a CPS system. And a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them are corrupt. They lie. They bring your hopes up and drop your hopes down. They also retaliate. It's very complex to fight them. So you need a person who's trained. It's like open heart surgery. You're not going to try to take your heart out and work on it or have a lay person work on it. You're going to have a professional, a doctor who's gone through a lot of training, education, internships, licensing, extra years of study, mentoring another doctor. Same thing goes true for CPS. You need somebody like Mr. Davis. Now, he's available. And he just talked to begin my show, and I want to thank Mr. Davis for all he does. And you can reach the office of Vincent W. Davis at 888-888-6582. That's the main office, and that's in Arcadia, California. That's in LA County. And if you're ready to retain an attorney that is really, really a tough person, you meet with them, see if the chemistry is right, discuss the retainer, and then he will set you at ease. It was for me. I mean, I tried to fight with a court-appointed attorney. You see, your civil rights says you must be appointed an attorney if you can't afford one in legal matters. So what CPS system does, it tricks you. What it does, they so nice to offer you, but you don't know what you're getting yourself into. When you take a court-appointed attorney who isn't trained in juvenile, family, or dependency law, who is not a fighter, who just got over getting his bar exam, and they're just going to just do anything it does to get out of the case. Because why? They have 31 cases or more they're trying to juggle. They don't have time to talk to you outside court or after court or before court. They don't. My court-appointed attorney was a woman. I'm not against women or men, but my court-appointed attorney there did not know all there is about juvenile law, family law, or dependency law. She let the social workers walk all over. Why? She's hired by the social workers. You don't understand. The law says when you're in a legal matter, you're supposed to have an attorney. If you don't have one, one can be appointed for you. Well, that's an open shut book. They have appointed attorney for the kids and for you, and they're all friends of the court. I mean, the court, they go out to lunch together, they play golf together, they joke and kid. They're not in there to make sure your kids are returned to stuff. And on top of that, CPS is notorious. When they get a call that says so-and-so did this, they investigate it right away. They want to take your child who isn't in imminent danger. My 3 children were not in imminent danger, but that same day they came out, they wanted to take them. They wanted to take them. I did not know the laws. You do not have to give up your children unless there's a warrant. You don't have to let them in your home, and you don't have to talk to them. That also goes for the police. A lot of you don't know that. I didn't know that. The police are supposed to be, help to serve and protect and serve. But they're not protecting your children or your family, and they're certainly not serving you. The police it was terrible experience. I'm not saying all police are bad. I'm not saying all CPS is bad, but there's a lot of them. Over 600 people have called in. 900, not 600, but 900. Now, there's 4 ways to interact in this podcast. One way is just by being in this room. I love emojis, thumbs up, thumbs down, smiley faces, hearts, even throw me some stars. Check below if you want to follow me, or if you want me notified, check the notification button. And that's all you need to do in this room. You just take notes. But if you want some questions specifically answered about your case, all I ask you is to text me a message, and I'll put that up right now. And I don't need to read it to you, but follow the direction on that. Your first name, your city or county where the case was, and if you're from out of the country, you want to put your state of that particular country. Some countries have province and states. Australia has states. South Africa has provinces. So that's all you have to do. And I will gladly help you by answering your questions. I gladly help you if you answer questions. Also, I want you to be complete with your case and tell me. There is anybody. Start from the beginning. It's the easiest way. Start off when they first came and attacked you and took your children, why they took your children. We have a first person that texted a message here tonight. That's great. B, okay. Glad to meet you, B. I don't know if you saw my message about your first name and the city and state or the country if you're from outside of the United States. But anyway, B starts off, CPS came to the hospital right after my boyfriend and I had our twins. Congratulations. I bet you're beautiful. Your kids are beautiful. I'm so sorry that they came to the hospital and it probably caused you harm. But didn't tell us that they were that we were being investigated. Well, they do that. They're very deceitful. You shouldn't talk to them, number one. Number two, you don't give them your child. Don't give permission. And, tell them that you get back to them, but you need to talk to your attorney first. You need to talk to your attorney. And your attorney will advise you of what to do, B. They'll advise you. Now, another way to react with this podcast is to text a message that to my producer if you want to be on the podcast. I love to have up to 9 of you on my podcast. With me makes 10. I can have up to 10 people spontaneously on the live podcast. And all you do is you sit yourself up on the screen and then you can participate in the discussions. Now, being a guest is simple. All you have to do is pick one of my times, one of my shows. I'm on twice a day, 7 days a week. That's 14 shows. I've been doing this continuously now for over 15 months. I started October 23rd. Now, January's actually been doing this for 16 months now. 16 months and over 900 people. 900 people in 16 months. And you send in one of those days you pick to Grace, who will send you a link to get on the podcast. I use StreamYard. I transmit using YouTube. So I am looking for what you want to send me. Okay, we got some people that are coming in the room. I want to address them. And the fourth way on this podcast is you can call in. I put my number up so I'm live. That number is 626. Whoops, it disappeared. Sorry, my computer is really messing up here. That's not what I put. Okay. Well, a lot of rooms came in. And some people. I'm so sorry. Oh, my goodness. They're commingled with the rooms. Okay. The first person was B. I remember that one. And B further says from somewhere, they took him, they ended up taking him. Well, I need more information, B. I don't know your name, your city, or the state, or the country. So if you could explain to him, and why they take him, and why did you give them up? Did they have a warrant? There's lots of things I have questions on, so try to be really thorough, B. But I'm so glad to have you. Now, the rooms each have information about websites to go to. They're all legit. You should visit them because there's a lot of information you can get at the sites. These are all the rooms that I've set up and that you can find me. They're interconnecting. And tonight is just a complete restructure of the home there. I'm trying to filter through the messages. The rooms are really hard because they're intercommingled with your messages. So a lot of repetition. Okay, B's again. I'm from, where's she from? Where is B from? I'm from Canada. Well, welcome. You're about the 8th Canadian that I've spoken to. And you also live in New Brunswick. That's where Phil Stein lives. It is different. I know all about St. Brunswick, New Brunswick. Why am I calling it St. Brunswick? New Brunswick. Phil Stein has actually talked to my show and told me so many horrible stories about the state, the province of Canada called New Brunswick. New Brunswick is near Quebec, near Nova Scotia. But I'm glad that you told me where you're from, B. I don't know if you have a name. I need to know more about your case. But for right now, I'll keep calling you B. I'll keep calling you B. Okay, I guess that's the end of comments. So now I'll talk. Unless someone wants to call in, I'll talk about my rules. I have 5 rules. Real quickly, they are: get an attorney. 2, get a notebook. Organize your documents in there. 3, do not let them in your door. Do not talk to them, including the police. Okay, it seems like every time we get halfway through the show, my comments seem to stop. I don't know what it is, but right now we are 22 minutes in the show, and all of a sudden the comments have stopped. Hopefully, you're all still hearing me. It shows that I have about 4 people in the room, but so far the only comments have been from B. From B. CPS is a very complex venue. You see, Congress mandated that an agency, social services, have a group of social workers and create a department in each county, that will fight child abuse and neglect. Those are 2 things they want everybody to find, is to stop abuse or neglect. So that's why you wanted to adjust, because if something comes up that you need access to it, adjust it so it'll work. But anyway, you'd hope that when someone came a knock and you did not know about not answering the door or letting them in. You have to if it's CPS. They're not your friend. They're not your friend. Now, I had a message come in. But it wasn't that message. I wonder what it was. Did someone try to call me? Well, we had Michael, that was the one from prison. He called me this morning. Katie also called me. And then also Kenny did. And Malaysia. And Julie. And Lash Israel. Okay, I just looked at those names. Okay. Okay. Let me see. B has another comment. Well, that wasn't her comment. I'm from Canada, live in New Brunswick, so it's different here. Yeah, I got that, B. I was looking for another comment from you. Well, here we go. I'm having trouble seeing the other comments I wrote. I only see two of them. Well, I try to put them up and I try to repeat them, so if I missed a comment, I do apologize. There are room messages that come in and somehow they're repeated over and over. So they take up a lot of the personal comments in the items, so you have to put your items in. You should see all the comments. Now you're from the YouTube. B, you have a channel, YouTube channel. There's Facebook channels and YouTube channels. I have 7 Facebooks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Facebooks, and 1 YouTube, 8 Facebook. So I have 9 different connections here that people can call in and so forth there. Okay. We're at the halfway mark, and I'm going to go over my rules. I don't see any more questions that need to be answered. B has talked several times in the room, but I think B is the only person in the room that we have that has text messages. I do have lots of people showing up that are in the room there. Now, rule number 1 is you got to get an attorney. That's the key to your case. It's like open heart surgery. You're not going to have a plumber do it. You're not going to have a dishwasher do it. You're going to get someone that's trained and has all the knowledge and experience to do open heart surgery. That's what CPS is like. You need somebody trained like Vincent Davis, who's a pit bull of attorney with 39 years of experience. He's a trial attorney. He has fought them in a civil lawsuit and won lots of cases. Okay. Grace is calling in. See what Grace is going to have to say. Whoops, I lost her for a second. See, Grace was going to go. Okay, Grace, there you are, Grace. Okay. Well, I don't know if Grace wanted to call in or what there, but thank you, Grace. It's kind of slow here tonight because all of a sudden the conversation has stopped. But I said rule number 1 is very important. You need that attorney. And then rule number 2, By the way, to get an attorney, you should try first with Vincent Davis. He's a remarkable man. He's done lots of hard work. He does lots of free time. And I want to thank him for all he does. He's a pit bull of attorney. He has 39 years experience. He's a trial attorney. He once was a foster kid himself, so he knows how to fight. And with that being said, I think it's easy to maybe have it off your mind because, trying to fight them with a court-appointed attorney is a waste of time. They won't defend you. They won't fight. They're only trained in criminal law. They're not trained in juvenile law, family law, or dependency law. So it's really, 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 really hard dealing with them. So you should also talk to at least 3 attorneys. I always recommend get quotes of 3. If you buy a new TV set, you want 3 different quotes. You buy a car, you want 3 quotes. Everything in 3s. And there's very important questions when you want to get that attorney. Very important questions. Question number 1. You need to ask them if they are professionally and licensed trained in juvenile law, family law, and dependency law, and have fought CPS and gotten children back. If the answer to that question is yes, the next question is, when the case is closed, have you ever fought CPS in a civil lawsuit and won money back? Excuse me 1 second. John, do you need some? So, if the answer is yes to both those questions, you're on the right track. You need to see if they have references. 3 people that you could talk to about how they perform. Okay? It's real simple to get an attorney. The hard part is how to finance the attorney. Attorneys are going to want retainers. $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 retainers. It all depends on the case, the magnitude of the case, how long the case has been going on, the difficulty of the case would determine the retainer amount, in Vincent's sake. And he's one of the people you need to talk to because you need also, after you find out that's the right attorney, you need to see the chemistry between you and the attorney you want to hire. Are they able to talk to you? Are you able to talk to them? Are you ruffling feathers? Do you let them talk or vice versa? Because when you're in court, you got to listen to what your attorney says. You let them do all the talking. When you're represented by an attorney, you can't talk to the judge. Only unless if your attorney allows you to speak to the judge. Court is very hard and difficult. There's a lot of procedures. That's why you need somebody like Vincent Davis. It's open heart surgery is what fighting CPS is. Mr. Davis will tell you how to navigate. In fact, there are several ways that you can actually talk to Mr. Davis. One of the first ways you can, and it's going across the bottom of my screen, is go to a website and you can talk to him for 30 minutes. It only is going to cost you $60 for 30 minutes. And you put your credit card and do it and secure that time, and he'll talk to you on Zoom. It's a private Zoom conference on the call there. And he'll talk to you for 30 minutes for $60. That's 30 minutes for $60. But I have something better yet. If you're on my show, either calling in, like right now, or you're scheduled on my show as a guest, you'll get to talk to Vincent Davis for 15 minutes free. 15 minutes free. He'll talk to you about how the strategy, everything. All you do is going to make a list of questions, prioritize them, label as 1, primary, secondary, tertiary. And so that way you go through the most important questions. And you can do that. You schedule a private or to do so, you have to be a guest or you have to call in on my phone. And I'll tell you how I can get you to have that time with Mr. Davis. So that's what you need to do to get an attorney. You got those 3 attorneys. Mr. Davis is one of them. Then you meet with them and do like that. Now, Mr. Davis will go to other states. Right now, I'm not sure whether he can practice law in other countries. Philistine of Canada was asking if he could come up to Canada and practice law. I know he has a case in Oklahoma, Missouri, and other places in the country. He has several cases in Northern California, then in Orange County, and LA County, which is near his office in Arcadia. And he has Riverside and San Bernardino County. There's a lot of big counties in California. So I know he can practice. When he goes out of the state or Northern California, he's going to have his airfare or his ground transportation or both. He's going to have his hotel accommodation and food. That's his per diem that you have to put on top of the retainer. Now, if you guys got more to say, I'd love to hear more from you, B. Love to hear about your case more in detail about that. Also, if any of my regulars are in here, where is Betty Joe? Well, she says you've been gone for the whole weekend. But there's Margaret and Felicia. Where are you at? That is cruel. Her Facebook account is cruel. And she always comes on late. But I'm looking for you guys. I saw Michael this morning. Michael, are you out there? Let me see. Anybody that I missed in the room that I haven't addressed? No, it's just been B. It's been B, and then a lot of comments from the rooms that feed in here. Okay. Rule number 2 is the important one. It's documents. You're going to get so many documents. You got to be organized with your documents. That's why it's important to put it all in a notebook with subject dividers. Fill it with extra notebook paper. And one of the documents you need to create is called a timeline. It's a timeline of incidents. That means events that happen with people, like social workers, police, the school, other parents, other children, so forth. You document all that. Now, you will remember it 6 months later because it's written there. So you should not talk to them, and you should only talk through your attorney. Okay, the important one, besides documents, is the third one. The third one is to say no to social workers. Say no to the police. Don't answer the door, because when they answer the door, they will end up, you get them in the home, you give them permission, and then they'll ask for your child. You need to have representation by attorney, somebody like Mr. Davis. And that's really important there, somebody like Mr. Davis. And so that is important too. Now, if they do come a knocking and you're outside, the best way to get rid of them is to say, "It's nice to meet you. Let me have your name and phone number, but I need my attorney present before we talk any further." You need to have the attorney present because they'll use what you say against you. I thought I could trust them. Also, be very leery about the police because they'll try to do investigation too, turn it into the district attorney, and the district attorney will also try to charge a crime against you. And neglect is a crime. Abuse is a crime. And you certainly don't want CPS charging those and then have the police charge you those too. They can't write tickets or arrest you for neglect or abuse, but the district attorney can file a case against you and then have you taken in, and then you're going to have to pay a bond to get out. You have to pay a bond to get out. So be very careful, because domestic violence, child abuse, and neglect are all crimes. They're a higher crime than CPS. And if you get those criminal charges against you, then what's going to happen? CPS is going to cross their arms and let your case go on hold until you get the criminal matter taken care of. Meanwhile, your kids will be dragged into foster care to be alienated. And that is tough. That is tough. That is very, 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 very tough. And so you got to be careful. When you open the door, too many people have been shot by mistaken. By policemen, 5 bullets. I know of several cases in the last 6 months. It's sad because you can't bring a life back after they're dead. Anyway, the other part is watch the traffic violation. Watch the traffic violation. Watch the medical trafficking. The medical trafficking is what I want to say. Medical trafficking. That's where you take your child into urgent care or the emergency room of the hospital. There's a social worker who works for CPS. They're now working in the hospital. They overhear something. They misinterpret it. The next thing you know, they're asking you for your child. Do not give them their child. They need a warrant to take your child from you. Also, if you're a mother and going to be having a baby in the thing, there's a lot of times the social worker, along with the police, will try to come in your birthing room and take your child when it's just birthed. I mean, they're that weird. So you got to be careful. You got to be careful about medical trafficking. There's child trafficking and medical trafficking. Say no. Do not talk to them. Now, my rule number 4 is to use the internet. You got to spend 60 hours to study. Everything I'm talking about, everything I'm doing is so easy to work in the internet. But you got to look at the way you phrase your question. Start off with the city, and then you want to do the country, and then the letter CPS. You'll see so much stuff pop up, but if you want to refine your search, you can say, for example, what is the 388 motion? What is the ICWA of 1978, the Indian Child Welfare Act? What is a 160 hearing? What are the steps in CPS taking your children? You know, how can I get my child back? There's anything you can think of, but you got to put that after your city and your state and the letter CPS. Now, if the city happens to be small, like maybe Athens, Georgia, you may want to put Athens, Atlanta, Georgia, then CPS, and then your question. And spend 60 hours. It's a lot of research, but it's so valuable. Every state's different. Every county's different. There's no uniformity. There's good CPS and bad CPS. I've had 5 good CPS workers on this show. I've yet to have any policemen talk, but I have had 5 social workers. And I know there's good social workers out there. Just I haven't met them except those 5 that came on my show. So that's rule number 4. And the last rule number 5, is that you make copies of important documents like birth certificates, marriage license, the children grade reports, any health issues reports, the shot records, the driver's license, your driver's license, all this information, copies of Social Security cards of the kids. You put all that in an envelope, just copies. Why? Because there's sometimes they ask to see certain documents. You attach it with your notebook, and now you have all your documents. And you can go there, and 6 months from now, you can remember what you said at that time and so forth. So those are the 5 rules that I wish I had known at the beginning, and I would never have lost my children. I did get my boys back, my 2 boys. It was hard, but Vincent Davis did a great job. But the sad part was I had a social worker retaliate on mom and dad. That's very sad. We had a 12-year-old daughter that's very gullible. And the social worker was caught committing perjury in court. She was on an oath, and she was asked a very important question. My wife's sister and brother were trying to adopt her daughter. And the question to them was, are they good parents? And of course, the social worker smiled and said, yeah, they're great parents. Then the next question she asked, has there ever been any domestic violence? Oh, no domestic violence. Well, then Mr. Davis reaches his briefcase, pulls out a folder, and he says, well, ma'am, I have right now 30 reports by the police at such and such of domestic violence. Furthermore, half of them are physical domestic violence, where they were fighting each other. That's not the environment we want. And the idea of my wife's sister and husband wanting to adopt our child didn't work. So you know what the social worker did? She retaliated. She told our daughter, you're 12 years of age, you can emancipate from your parents. That means you can divorce your mom and dad, your 3 brothers, your 2 sisters, your both grandparents, your uncles and your aunts and your cousins, all of them. That's pretty sad. That's pretty sad. The ideal of that social worker doing that, she opened herself for a lawsuit. She committed perjury. She lied on the stand. And Vincent Davis caught her with that. The only trouble is we could not sue her later because I didn't have the financial means to do a full-blown lawsuit. So I had to eat crow and forget that. I really regret it to this day. So those are the 5 rules, but I get you thinking that you can't trust social workers. They're not your friends. There's no one auditing them or checking them out. Not whatsoever. And it's now getting close to the 10-minute mark left of my show time. And I've seen no comments for 20 minutes. Now, I don't know if the stuff we're talking about it gets boring over and over, but I love to have questions. I love to have you call in. My phone number has been up there, 626-698-0990. And so far, all I've heard is from B, the letter B. And I think she said that she was from, let's see where she said she was from. She's from Canada. That's right. She's from Canada. I've had a lot of Canadians call in. And it's sad. It's sad to hear that the child protection system worldwide is bad and the United States is bad. Not all of it. It seems I only hear the bad stuff. As I said, I had 4 good social workers call in, but that's it so far. So if any of you are a good social worker, please call in. I'd like to hear from you. I'd like to know how you help out families, how you reunify the families. Now, some families, that may be as a hopeless cause. But the people that call into my podcast here are good parents. I could tell the way they talk about their child. Maybe they did some silly things because they didn't know better. But it's like this dad this morning, Mike. He was incarcerated, and while he was in prison, CPS contacted him and said that the lady they're deporting with the child to Mexico would like to check your DNA to see if you're the father of this child. And he found out he was, so they gave the child to him when he got out of prison, and then the lady he had the child with went back to her country. So he's raising a little girl. Then he has a new girlfriend. He has a couple of babies, but then that girlfriend turned sour and turned crazy. And now he's lost all 3 children. He's trying to get them back. It never seems to be very fair for people. So I tell you, you got to be careful out there. And I certainly don't want to forget the pink ladies. There's these 3 social workers in Arizona. And they decided to get pink t-shirts. And on the front, they stenciled, "We are professional child kidnappers." And on the back, they said, "Parents, do you know where your children are at?" And this was wrong. They paraded around in Costco and Walmart. They paraded around in Best Buys and Target. All the big major stores, wearing this sign on the front that said, "We're professional child kidnappers," and on the back, "Parents, do you know where your children are at?" And that was really sad. That was sad. That was really, really, really sad. And that was in Prescott, Arizona. And they call their CPS system, they call it the Child Protection System, DCS. Now, I'm coming up the mark with about 4 minutes left. It's 7:56. My podcast is going to be over at 8 o'clock. And I'm going to turn my phone off because no one seems to be calling right now, and I can't take a phone call because there's not enough time. But I want to end the podcast on a positive note. I want to thank all of you that become my family that are not here tonight. And I want to say special God bless to Betty Jo, to Faye Manley, to Darlene from Georgia, to Felicia from Ventura, to JD from Los Angeles, to Margaret from St. Louis, Missouri, to Philistine from Canada. There's a lot of you that come here. Tessa from California. There's probably 20, 30. The ladies from South Africa, I want to thank you. Or the mom in the UK. You all have really touched me in your cases. And this morning, Michael, you did the same thing. You guys are special people, and I'm here to help you. Now, I'm on here twice a day, every day of the week, and you'll find me. I will not leave you or not abandon you. I do this on Christmas Eve, New Year's Day, Christmas Day. I'll do this show no matter when. And I'm there for you to help you with what I've learned that worked for me. And if I had followed what I had known, I would never have been in CPS, because CPS is horrible. It's a horrible experience. And I feel for you. I really do. But I really care about you. And I really want you to keep trying to fight for your children. Don't give up. And with that being said, this is Bob Pace ready to sign off. And I'll see you tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock Sunday morning, Pacific Standard Time. That's on the West Coast. That's on the West Coast of California. I'm broadcasting from Surf City, USA, 3 blocks from the ocean. So you all take care and know that I do care and I want to help you. All you have to do is ask me. God bless you, and you'll hear a message from Vincent Davis when I leave the podcast.
Feeling lost in the maze of CPS? Desperate to get your child back? You're not alone. Countless parents face the heart-wrenching reality of family separation. The legal system can be overwhelming, but there's hope.
Now, here's the key. Faye, that's how you win a 6-month hearing.
Thank you.
If you do all of those things, you're going to blow your social worker's mind, you're going to blow your attorney's mind, and you're going to blow away the judge.
With attorney Vincent W. Davis, a dedicated legal expert with 39 years of experience, committed to helping families like yours. Join his weekly live Q&A on Zoom, where you can ask your burning questions about CPS cases. Get the knowledge and strategies you need to fight for your child's return.
Alrighty, good evening everyone. This is a question and answer session.
Are you ready to take control of your family's future? Participate as a one-time guest. Don't let fear hold you back. Take the first step towards reuniting your family. Join us now.